Good morning and welcome to the new edition of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. 4 hours more, and then America and the globe as a whole undergoes a change. A new administration comes in, and with the coming of the new administration, the whole geopolitical, social, as well as geographical situation would change. Economy would, of course, change altogether. And now people are thinking, would he come back? History shows that the great leaders always come back. If you remember, Napoleon was defeated miserably, and yet he came back as an emperor. There's another thing that he was defeated again in the war, but that was a war the people were still with him. Coming back of a leader is dependent on two things. One is his own record, which, as I talked the other day and I have written about, has been exemplary. The second is about the performance of the new team. Once the honeymoon period is over, then the people start criticizing, comparing, and as the time passes, people are disillusioned if the performance is not up to that level. So the possibility and the probability of return of Trump in 2024 cannot be discounted. Power vacuum is always there, and the deepening sense of economy stagnation is already haunting the people. If you remember, before he was inaugurated, there was an upsurge in the stock market. This time, the trend is reversed. That itself shows the possibility of Trump coming back. But then, before I proceed further, let me make a statement, a caveat. All things in life are subject to certain conditions. So his probability of return is pari passu, meaning thereby other things remaining the same as they are. Suppose there is an army revolution, suppose there is a nuclear war, then his coming back may not be that possible as it is today. So these things are dependent on diverse factors. Now, before say proceed further, let I'll give you the reasons thereof why I expect Trump to be back in power in 2024. There have been certain comments which I like to take up. One is by Mr. Gurdeep Singh, and Gurdeep says that would Trump come or Melania come? Trump come. Now, Melania is simply out of question. A, she's not a political animal. She was a model. She's a fashion star. Fine. Secondly, constitutionally, she cannot be president. Under the Constitution of United States, only a born American, a person who is born in America, can be president of America. Melania is an immigrant, so she cannot be president. You remember that birth controversy at Obama, that there was a lot of noise that Obama is not citizen by birth, so he should not be there. So the same thing would be with him. Preet Clare says any disqualifications. So Preet, that answers your question. Yes, there's a constitutional bar on her coming back. Meena Joshi comments that mainstream would never consider Trump. What is mainstream? This time, Trump got 17 million votes more than he got last time when he won. So, mainstream always is there, would be there, and mainstream would primarily be leftist. This is the psychological affliction that they pose to be progressive, they pose to be leftist, and thereby hangs a tail. But that is not going to impact. Mr. Singh Jaspal says not that he deserved to lose in 2020, but for 2024, he should quote one of the proteges. And Sukhbir Tank agrees that Ivanka would be a perfect fit. Well, that is quite possible, absolutely. But then let's not forget the psychology of Trump. If he can, he will wield the power. If he cannot, he might hand it over to Ivanka, and Ivanka is his pet. That would be only in the case of physical disability or the Senate passing a vote, not only impeaching him, but adding a rider under Section 230 that he is not eligible to contest any elected office again. In that case, Ivanka might be a substitute. And Prashant Party wants me to know about Biden's impact on India. Well, I don't have to say anything, I've written earlier, but the latest action taken yesterday by the proposed defense secretary stating that the Biden government would have military to military relationship with Pakistan is a sufficient hint how Biden is going to be anti-India or at least indifferent to India. Now let's come to that. This campaign was more than a contest between Joe Biden and Trump. It was not only a contest between Republicans and Democrats. It was a contest between two philosophies of the government. And history tells us that America has weathered turbulent transitions before this week's Trump to Biden turnover in Washington. And the messy transitions have been passed. In 1860, outgoing President James Bunchen was prepared to leave the Union, and he saddled the incoming President Abraham Lincoln with the Civil War. You remember, another lame duck president pushed the country in economic depression in 1893. The transition between the economic crisis of 1933 was so bad that the inauguration had to be changed from March to January. When Roosevelt was elected, the opposition president had very clearly stated that this is going to be a disaster for the country. So let's not forget that Democrats are scenting blood, but roughly half of the population of the country, 330 million of the country, and almost 50% are still firmly behind Trump. Trump is a party. You know, in India, when emergency was stated, the Congress party leader Barwa said, India is Indira, Indira is India. Here, Trump today is veritable Republican Party. And no Republican Party can exist today without Trump. The news, which another comment has come just now, that Trump is like to set up his own party. These straws in the wind would always be there. Yes, Trump is a Republican Party, but he is also the Proud Boy Party. He is QAnon Party, Race Baiters Party. So the primary target of Trump's Republican Party are all there. It's funny. Can you believe? People said that Trump is against Jews, but his favorite daughter, Ivanka, converted to Orthodox Judaism and gave him three Jewish grandchildren. Now come to this. Joe Biden faces a Ford pardoning Nixon dilemma. Ford pardoned Nixon, and nation never forgave him for it. So Ford lost the 1976 election. Now Parton has been impeached, but he has not been convicted. People have to understand the difference between impeachment and conviction. Only if 67 senators say that he is impeached, agree with this impeachment, only then he would be convicted. The first impeachment was absolutely ridiculous, that asking Ukraine to do Biden's bidding. And he had done it openly. Many world leaders requisition the help of other world leaders in their elections. We have seen it happen. Biden sought the help of China this time. Justin Trudeau and Boris Johnson of UK, they are appealing to the vote banks by interfering in the farmers' protest in India. And as I said, he was posting to win in 2020, but the only problem was the COVID attack. People have to find a scapegoat for their misery, the misery of the COVID. Whom would they blame except the president? So he accepted ultimately, and he wished Biden all the best. But he's injured. And this time, he is going to change his opinion. Now, the facing challenges by Biden is going to be his doom. If Biden forgives President Trump, and if it's further, first he is convicted, which is not possible. If he is convicted, if he forgives him, then Biden is gone. Secondly, his health. Would people be willing to accept Kamala as a president? And the expectation that by March, 400,000 people who have died in USA would come to 500,000. That's a major, major disaster, and people are not going to forgive that. If in 1 year and 3 months, the figure almost increases 25%, then the economy. Biden is turning to clean energy to bail the economy out. He's completely wrong. Oil and natural gas are the only ways to resuscitate the economy. Obama tried hard to depend upon energy and he failed miserably. Then he turned around to fraction, turned around to oil and natural gas. Biden was a part of Obama's good team, but he has learned nothing from the experience. And then international repercussions. If they go to the clean energy, and as Biden is saying, he will cancel the Keystone pipeline, it will be a disaster for Alberta. And Alberta's disaster means Canada's disaster. Would Canada be loving him the way they are loving him today? It was a heady movement of anti Trump. Without considering, people started liking senility. But then there's always a time of introspection. And when money hits you, economy hits you, then you blame somebody. And if you know and you can identify the guilty, then if Biden allows the Senate trial of Trump, it would be totally cutting the country. And then agenda, total agenda. If Biden, as I said, can execute the agenda, he might be able to defeat Trump in 2024. But Biden would not be there, some other nominee would be there. But the agenda is confused. Bernie Sanders, the icon of the left, is the chairman of the Senate's powerful budget committee. Now, this is fact. Most of the people either are not aware or they ignore it. Now, Bernie Sanders is going to be a major obstacle to the success of Biden. He would not allow any moderate action of the Biden to go through. Biden got most of the Trump supporters this time because of the pandemic. And would he be able to retain them in 2024? And that's why you see Biden said no, he doesn't. I don't want to have anything to do with the policy reform. So Biden is caught in a cleft stick. Appeal to the left through the clean energy and appeal to the right by foregoing police reforms. And a person who rides or sails in two boats is going to drown. Let's not forget. Then the foreign policy front. Biden wants to sign an Iran nuclear deal. The moment he re-signs it and he has started the process, the Deputy Secretary of State is a lady who was the person responsible for the Iran nuclear deal. This will alienate two major supporters of USA, Israel and also Saudi Arabia. They have been long-standing US allies. Trump disdained the Iranians, and that's why Israelis and Arabs love him for that. Trump undid whatever Obama had done. Now, whatever Trump stands for, Biden stands against. And if Biden does not reduce the pandemic and improve the economy in the first 6 months, people will start turning against him. But on the other side, Trump's base loves him no matter what. Biden's base does not love him. It wants performance. Biden doesn't have a base. The base is multi level. Kamala Harris base, the Gang of Four base, I mean, Alexandra Cortez and her Ilhan Omar and others, and Bernie Sanders base. All three bases combined constitute the base of Biden. And all three are, in fact, at cross purposes. So, the true climate believers are going to lead the country to an economic disaster. And they are going to conflate wrongly that they believe with economic revival. Economy is something which people cannot. Then social. The vast majority of the college going people, when they see that they are being discriminated against because of the more affirmative action and people who are not deserving are getting jobs. The same thing what happened in India. Reservations, thereby alienating the intelligentsia and the brain drain out of India. USA has more Indians today because of the reservation policy. And that's what would happen here. Then the taxation. He says that he's going to increase the tax to 15%, a minimum wage to $15 per hour. At present, it ranges between $6 to $8. Now, when you double the wage, where does the return go? And the employer would naturally reduce their working people, leading to unemployment. Then the cycle would start. More unemployment, less demand for goods, less demand for goods, less production, more unemployment, and this will go on. Secondly, when the people find that the same thing they can produce in Vietnam, in Philippines, in Korea, in India for $1 an hour, why should they pay $15 an hour? So on one side, the minimum wage would increase. The second side, he's increasing the taxes. And when you take people out that way economically, getting them to pay more, so the cost of production increases, and then to pay higher taxes on that. That is killing the economy. And when you kill the economy, you kill the sport of the country with you. And when you kill the sport of the country with you, naturally, you cannot have success. And that is what would pave the way for the return of Trump in 2024. Trump is waiting in the wings. And all these 4 years, he is not going to keep quiet. Let me tell you. Twitter came because of his account, and he might start his own social platform. He's capable of doing that. He is capable of coming with ingenious, inventive ideas that will simply make people follow him the way people followed Pied Piper of Hamelin. This anger of the people was temporary, and when in retrospect people think that he was not at fault, but he was projected to be at fault by biased media, they'll once again revert back to him. They will reverse the steps. But much depends on how Biden impacts the economy and the health of the nation. If he fails, foreign policy is failing. The very first action yesterday, before even it takes birth, has definitely annoyed India, and India is a huge market for USA. So things are not very rosy. Hope so that there is peace, hope so that there's stability, but you can be sure other things remaining the same, pari passu, Trump would be back in power in 2024. Thank you. I